Okay, very good day everybody. Hope you all slept well here at the local airport at one of the assigned hotels. This is your personal funky scene pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko. Today is going to be the return flight from the flight we did yesterday. So yesterday we did a discrete package delivery from the south of California to the north of Mexico, near the border. And then, to give a short recap, we took off from the Lake Wohlford resort and we flew to Mexico. And once we arrived, it was pitch black, and the airport was in no way illuminated whatsoever. So it was pitch black, there was nothing to see. We managed to land on the runway, so it's good. So we delivered our package, and once then we took off to fly back to the United States, like hop across the border, like 7 nautical miles. And there we saw kind of a similar situation. So we diverted to another airport, which is actually where we are sitting now. So the airport that we diverted to was the Yuma International Airport. So that's where we're sitting now, and we'll be flying back to the Lake Wohlford resort. So let me get some things in order here for you. So 1 second, please, if you will. Okay, so excuse me, I quickly had to send my mother a short little text message. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so excuse me, just texting my mother really quickly, shortly. Okay, so yeah, to recap, so we landed, we diverted to another airport, so which is where we're sitting now. The airport is the Yuma International Airport, just across the border with Mexico. And we'll show you the flight plan now that we're going to use for the return flight, which is that's this one. Let's have a look here. So the return flight, basically what we'll be doing, this is where we are now, the Yuma International. We'll be flying VFR. We'll flying to, what was actually, do not know the name of it here, probably Bravo Zulu Alpha. This one, the BART VFR, 116.8. We'll fly towards the VFR, it's only 7 nautical miles. And from there we will fly an outbound VFR to another one. It looks to be Victor 66, or this is the IPL probably. Probably it's the Imperial, and then we continue. I did this yesterday as well. This is actually a little confusing. Do not know how to fly this little leg here. It's like an airway that's gotten inserted. So let's see if we can delete the airway right there. Not really sure how it's going to respond to that. Well, screw it, we'll be fine. We'll just fly to the next VFR. Once we arrive at the Julian VFR, we will then be on our final leg. So that's precisely what we're going to do. Hey, look, frequency is there. You just logged out of YouTube to go to Steam, and now you're back for the F sake. Well, yes, as you assume correctly, frequency. I'm actually sitting here with my with a phone next to me, so I can monitor the chat, because YouTube has no way of telling me, hey Arkady, there is a new chat for you. So this is a sort of a workaround, which obviously in aviation there is a lot of workarounds being done all the time. So this is no exception. So I'm happy to read your message, albeit like about 60 seconds later. So that's in normal terms, it's actually quite well. Okay, so we got frequency is also a pilot actually. Oh look, he wants to come as a door gunner. Well, in this case it could actually have come in handy, because what you missed, the frequency, was I was just telling that yesterday, this is actually now our return flight. So what we did yesterday, we flew from the Lake Wohlford resort. It's in the south of California, and we flew along the border with Mexico, and then we hopped the border and we landed there to do a delivery. And it was pitch black there. The runway was not illuminated at all. So we delivered our package, and then we hopped the border again, and then we landed at our current location, the Yuma International Airport. So what we're doing now is actually we'll be flying back. So I'll definitely take you up on the offer, because like a co-pilot could really have come in handy yesterday evening. So okay, so that being said, let me see. So you've seen enough now of the flight plan. So which one is that? The Sky Vector. Okay, so here we are now at the Yuma International Airport. So we parked here yesterday. It's basically where we left off. So let's just go ahead and get back into the cockpit and get flying. So we'll do some VORs, and as you could see earlier, there was something of an like an airway or something inserted, which looked a little weird, because I was personally just counting on flying VOR to VOR and all that stuff. But in the end, you know, we'll have a GPS on board as well, so it's not the end of the world actually. So it's a real nice frequency to join. Well, welcome aboard. Just imagine you'll be sitting next to me. Let me just quickly get these seats out of the way. You know what? No, I like them on for the immersion. Just let's do it like this. Okay, so let's get this thing started up, and let's get ourselves in the air, and let's get the hell out of here, because I want to go home. Okay, so we turn on the battery master. Let's just get these things over with. And the same on this side as well. There we go. Turn on the fuel pumps, 1 and 2. And obviously, do not forget to turn on the fuel selector as well. Okay, so we got this. And in order to start this sucker up, we'll have to do the full mixture. And maybe just like a 1/4 inch of throttle there. And I think we're ready to start the engine. So let's go ahead and start up engine number 1. Yes, it's a Seminole. It's a Seminole PA44. Here comes engine number 2. Look, I will show you the external model. So it's the PA Seminole, the PA44 Seminole. Tweed prop. It is actually a nice plane. It's about 130 knots airspeed. I will be flying around 110. Around 110. Okay, so the aircraft is started up. It's a little bit noisy, so let's just close this little window here. It's going to be a little friendlier to our ears. Huh? Okay, so we're almost ready to get out of the way. Let's turn on the avionics. And let's turn on all the lightings, recognition lights and the strobe. Oh no, do not click randomly, please, Arkady. Okay, so we could use the GPS, but obviously I do prefer to just try and fly the VFRs, because it's a nice thing to do. It's nice to learn, and you know, to get into the system. Because in the end, you know, you need to understand the basics rather than just program a stupid little GPS. But yesterday we did use the GPS at some stage, because it was, you know, battle conditions, if you will, and this was the best thing that the first thing at hand, really. Okay, so what we'll need now, where's the Sky Vector? Now I'm going to check our first VOR, because after takeoff Oh no, I screwed it up. So it's about, there you go, it's gone. So it's about 7 nautical miles, so basically we just take off and fly north, heading of 351, and until we reach the Bravo Zulu Alpha VFR. It listens to the frequency of 116.8. So that is what we will put in the radio, 116.8. 116 and the decimal 8. I put it in the ADF as well, like this, 116 decimal 8. Let's just go up for this time. Okay, 116.8. This will also change it. If you change it here in the radio panel for the ADF, it will actually also change it in your GPS system, which is always good. Okay, so both the frequencies have been set. It is on VLOC, so that's good. So that means that the autopilot, as soon as I hit the navigation button, it will follow the VLOC, which is actually this and this one. Actually, rather, I believe it's this one. I'm not really sure. Or probably it's actually the nav one there. But you can see here it's already been responding, and we already knew the VFR is to our north, and we will also tune it here. Okay, so now that we are set for departure, let's quickly have a look at the runway. We are sitting at the customs, I believe, the customs terminal. That's where we left. Today I'm not really going to care too much about the wind. We're just going to take off. So what I think I'll do is just drive to runway 17 and take off to the south. That is 168 degrees. Okay, so let me double check. Let me set the flaps for takeoff. Release the parking brake. I should have yelled clear prop, but everyone who was standing around has now already been beheaded, probably. Let's just call it an honest mistake. The family will take great consolidation in that fact, don't you think? Okay, so here we are, the Yuma International Airport. I'd be really glad actually to be getting out of here, because I don't know. I called my boss yesterday, told him I had to divert to another airport. He was fine with that, obviously. My boss, he has a little man everywhere. So it took this guy maybe over 20 or 25 minutes, and he was here. And then he took me to a little place where I could spend the night. So here is actually a runway 26 and 08. No, actually, to be fair, I'm good with any kind of runway right now. So let's just go on. One thing actually that I'm forgetting. Actually, we are now officially on the runway, but I want to tune in the radio to Unicom, because we're actually flying on the VFR network now. But there was no control, anything. Let's just see what's going to happen. If we get into trouble, we can always disconnect. I did not file any kind of flight plan, even though it's via VFR. Yes, we are now on the VFR network. The only controller online is LAX Center. Well, we are still quite a ways up. Yuma International, Whiskey Papa 812, taking off runway 24. So that's like the most vague description you could give anyone, possibly. Like what direction and all that stuff, just leaving it out. And that's what they call pro forma. I'm not sure they say this in English as in Russia, but you get the idea. Yeah, so which side's the longest? Well, we're gonna go left here. We're just winging it. No pun intended. Okay, so the flaps have been set. The altimeter is set as well. So here we go. Today we're going to fly across the border, sorry, not across, but actually along the border with Mexico. We will not fly over the border again, even though we are real close by. Okay, so we got takeoff. Keep it climbing. Okay, so positive rate, gear up. Flaps up. Alright. So I'm just going to keep on climbing for a little bit. And let's see if we can start tracking that VOR. Try not to go down while we're climbing. Looks like I'm turning a little too much here. Just I could not see the stupid needle move. I must confess, while it's excuses time, that this aircraft's navigational systems are sometimes a little bit confusing to me, which is good because it means that I got something more to learn, which I'm always happy to do. Okay, so now it looks like we are almost on the track. However, we are a little bit to the right of the track. We are 5'6" nautical miles, so let's just fine tune a little bit, but basically we're not deviating too much. So we're still climbing. Let's just keep on climbing a little bit. So frequency says, as in this case, to avoid an intercepting flight from two F-18s, your ATC columns were more than enough. Thank you, my friend. You know, it's you just put in the effort. You know, it's usually that should be fine. With regards with the altitude, I think we should actually go well above 4,000 feet, because at our destination there are some high-level mountain ranges that peak to a little over 4,000 feet. So I suggest we just keep climbing to around 6,000 or 7,000 feet, something like that. So we continue the climb. Let us get rid of the fuel pumps for now. There you go. And let's start by having a look at what our next frequency is going to be for the VOR. So the next VOR is going to be to our left, all across the border there, like it's going to be, which one is this? India Papa Lima. And the India Papa Lima Imperial is 115.9er. Okay, so 115.9er. Let's arm it. 115.9er. Okay, so we're 2.3 nautical miles from our VOR here. What's the altitude? Crossing 5,000 feet. So yesterday's flight was actually really nice because we took off while the sun was setting over the ocean at the beaches at the coast in California. And by the time we got here, it was actually fucking pitch black. Okay, so approaching 6,000 feet. 1.6 nautical miles, 1.5. Let's have a look outside, see if we can actually see the VOR station. Sometimes you can. This time not really sure which it could maybe be that little thingy. Sometimes it's quite apparent. Okay, so enough about that. Should be overhead, since we are at 1.4, but we're also high in the air. See, it's going slower, it's probably going to 1.5 now, which means that we are already past it. See, it's not moving. 1.5, there you go. Okay, so we go to 115.9, click it here, and also put it in here, 115.9. Is the 9er, 115.9, so that's 44.7 nautical miles. And we can see which direction it's going to be at. And what I'm going to do now is actually just engage the navigation, which should now start to follow the nav 1. See, this one goes left. Oh, excuse me. This one goes left as well. Now this one's not picking up yet. See, that's what I mean. It's like confusing. Like in other aircraft, it appears to all either work or not work. Let's see if I'm doing it right. Oh, it should actually be. Maybe it is. Let me just check here. Well, it should go a little more. There you go. It's coming. It's pilot error. There you go. That's the experience that I was liking here. And maybe a slight hint of confidence. Okay, so there you go. We are on the route. Not fully. We are now, because now we're engaging the autopilot. And you can see now the plane starts turning. It says, okay, Arkady, I'm just doing what you're telling me. And we're also going to do an altitude hold. We're about 8,000 feet up, which is perfectly fine. Once the plane settles a little bit, we're going to reduce the speed somewhat. Like so. And we're just cruising. Let's have a little look at the external. The part that we're flying to California is actually a really beautiful part, man. Especially yesterday when the sun was setting, man, it is like mountainous desert, and the lighting and everything. I really had an interesting time there. It looked very nice. Okay, so let's look at the map and see if there's anything that we can expect with regards to mountain ranges and all that miserable crap. Let's have a look here. So we are, where were we? Okay, so we are now leaving the Yuma area, so we are flying along this line somewhere. There is some mountain peaks, but they do not appear to be very high. Let's get rid of this inlay there. So 480, 476, what is this? It's little peaks to our left, but nothing too interesting. So once we get here, we should have a look, because it's going to. Oh no, this looks actually fine now. So it did delete my. Okay, no problem. Okay, so that looks good. So let's just keep on cruising. So as I said, to the left there should be some lowish 400 feet high tops along the way. I don't know. This just looks fine to me. So earlier I got a message from my boss when I woke up this morning, or actually he woke me up in the middle of the fucking night, telling me, Arkady, the customer was really happy with the delivery, which was good to hear, because as I said, you know, the runway was not illuminated at all. It was like pitch black. I just like flew over this little building. You can check the other stream if you want. This is the part 2, and you could actually see for yourself. I like had to fly over this little building and just put the plane down somewhere, and then once I was rolling out, all of a sudden I crossed this little taxiway, and I'm like thinking, what is this? Was this now the runway? Is this a part of the taxiway? What's going on? But there was a car standing there waiting for us, so I just got out of the aircraft and delivered the package. Excuse me. Put it next to some plane that was sitting there. And I told them that I'll be on my way. I get a little sip of my cola. Now the airport that we're flying to, it's the Lake Wohlford resort something. It's actually quite an interesting. It is elevated, so it's quite a hard runway to land on. But I did it once. Don't believe I actually ever did it in this type of aircraft. Yesterday I did definitely have a hard time. I did actually have a hard time getting off there. It almost crashed into one of the structures that was sitting next to the runway, but we managed to take off. Hey, well, you're calling it crazy, Yashin. What are you saying? Still smoking those dirty, cheap cigars? Hey, man, you know it's cheap. You know, actually in this case it's rolling tobacco. So you use the rolling paper. Do not put anything funny in it. It's already funny enough. You know, I mean, ask my lung. You know, he's like coughing like crazy sometimes, saying, Arkady, you're a fucking idiot. You know what, I just can never get over it. I just completely love these little indents that you see here, where the screws and the bolts are located. They just look so damn nice. So the people who made this aircraft, they did a really nice job, man. It gives it kind of a realistic feel. You know what I mean? It's something that I can definitely appreciate a lot. One thing that I cannot very much appreciate, well, actually, it's with regards to my own behavior. Once there was a time I just opened this window in mid-flight, and immediately the sim crashed. Well, like not crash to desktop, but it says, you know, you overstressed the aircraft. I'm thinking, oh my God, Arkady, what are you doing? So we're 33 nautical miles out. We're still we're well on our way. Got plenty of fuel, so we do not have to consider any kinds of glide landings and all that stuff. These panels are quite interesting too. They have some information. There's a little takeoff checklist, your fuel selectors on, electric fuel pump on, alternators on, engine gauges checked and all that stuff. There's some tables that you can check, all kinds of information. There's a little landing checklist there. Not sure if you can see very well. Oh, did you see the moon? It's a little tiny little line. And then there to the left is the sun. Where's the sun? We lost the sun, people. There's no sun anymore. Actually, it was a pity that we could not land at the original US airport, which I believe it's called PA44 or something. I can show you guys. But that was not illuminated as well, so I decided, you know, just going to divert and call my boss, which was no problem at all. Oh, it's 44 Alpha, Rowley Airfield, because it was sitting next to a prison and my cousin is sitting there. So, you know, I felt like maybe I could just drop by and say hello. I could have done so because it's not too far from my like I landed in Yuma then. And I believe the airport was probably around this area or something. But I was really tired. I felt like I just going next time. You have a bunch of urgent set phone messages you must read. Sounds like you're being called to a mission with your squad. Hey man, yours and I'll do mine. You know, it's Прочитна поджатка плофджирна няка, you know? So, yeah. Right, so, that's basically it. It's a lot better takeoff than we had yesterday, because yesterday, as I said, I almost, you know, drove straight into one of these structures next to the runway. What is it? It's a water basin or something? Does it show on the map? Just check, we are 28.5 nautical miles. What's the tidal lag? Doesn't show. But sometimes with these maps you can actually find some interesting landmarks, and then sometimes they are actually on the little map displayed as well, which is quite interesting. In this case, I don't think it really shows. No, I don't think I see it in any case. So let's go back to the cockpit there. Just getting a message from my mother, which is always good, so she received one message. Let's have another look at the external view. Looks like there's some desert highways, or maybe it's a train track. A little bit difficult to tell with my untrained eye. Yeah, let's get rid of the landing light, by the way. Nautical mile. Nautical miles, so I'm going to check the chart again to see what the next waypoint is going to be. And as I said, obviously you could just program the GPS, you know, if you want to, but it's kind of fun. It feels old school, you know, to just fly from VOR to VOR. Obviously you can also fly manually, you know, just actually keep the airplane on the needle, you know, yourself on the track. we are 22 nautical miles out. We would now run now probably around 20 nautical miles. So this will be Imperial, and then they're telling us to fly 59 nautical miles to a heading of 280 degrees until we reach our last VFR, which is Juliet Lima, India, which is hitting 114.0. So let's just arm it 114.0. Just put it in for now. 114.0. But do not put it in here yet because we're waiting for this one to count down. But it's just sitting there armed. It's actually a pretty nice morning. There is some clouds, but it's still good. So we'll be flying over those mountain ranges there, or maybe on that side a little bit, because we are going to have to go to 280, which is a little bit to the right. So yeah, it should be around there, which is where our last VFR will be. And then from the last VFR it's 21 nautical miles, and then we're going to have to get ready for the landing. And the landing, as I said, is quite a challenge because you know, the runway there is elevated. I do not believe it's being recognized on the Navigraph, but we can see if we can find it perhaps. What was the name again? Let me check here. 1 second. So it's 8 Charlie Lima 1. 8 Charlie Lima 1. But it probably has no charts anyway. So yeah, it says Lake Wohlford Resort. That's it. Yeah, so there's actually no information. Elevation is 1643 feet, so that's good to keep in mind. IFR capability, no. Airport type, yes, I know it's a private airport. Longest runway is 1300 feet. Runway 2103, well, we're just going to do a straight in. There's no communications found there. Okay. Could maybe just speed up a little bit. Nautical mile. Let me quickly check the VFR network. Stand by. Doing VFR. Routing remarks. Find our, we find the time. Time is 21:58, so I believe how long have we been flying? For about 30 minutes or so. So our departure time was about 21:25 Zulu, something like that. So 21:25 Zulu. Time en route should be about is it not taking it? 21. 25. Time en route is about 1 hour 30 minutes. And cruise altitude 80. I'm just going to file it. Please indicate your voice capability. We got send and receive. Okay, so at least we're flying now with a filed flight plan. So 135.550. Let's see if we can listen in. 135.550. We are tuned in. 135.550. Yes, that's correct. It's the LAX set. I guess we should maybe squawk for the VFR. Yeah, so now that we are actually tuned to the LAX center, we are not tuned to the Unicon. We should probably actually be to the Unicon. Could still actually be out of range. I will have a look now, because I'm actually curious what is going on the VATSI network. Is it still reading? So we are still somewhat out of the airspace. Yes, I'm not sure. Maybe we could consider actually descending a little bit. I'm not really sure about the altitude constraints for the VFR flights. I know it's something I should know, but I do not. See if this is the overlay still working. Browser. Sure if it's being updated, yes or no. Yeah, there you go. Maybe it needs to be running in the background like this, not minimized. Sorry, just checking some things here. See if everything's still going, because it looks like the overlay was not updating. It's sitting at altitude 629 or 7, but we're actually flying 8,000 feet, a little higher even. not really sure if this updates correctly. Does not look like it's updating. It is updating locally. No, although actually altitude does not seem to. Oh well, whatever. Now 1.5 nautical mile, 1.6 outlook, so actually starting to miss it. So 114.0, change that, and 114.0 here as well. Really, I have to go back? And looks like it's still maybe out of range. Should now be flying for about, what was it, 59 nautical miles to a heading of 280. So for now I will just stand by. Does not seem to recognize it yet, so let's put in the heading 280. And then we'll just fly a heading for a little while. Oh wait, or can I do nav? Does it? No. Okay, so we'll just do heading, no nav, just heading. Excuse me. But now at least the airplane's turning to the correct direction. There's an airport straight ahead. Well, you cannot see, maybe. There you go. So that's good to see, because then we'll have an idea of where we are on the map. So we should be here, so it should be this airport here, the Kilo November Juliet Kilo El Centro. So that's the airport that we're going to fly over now. To the right there will be some, I don't know, some salty depositable stuff. No significant peaks. There is a peak here at 5349. Oh, looks like we're getting cold. Uh-oh. Hope we do not get into the trouble. Stand by 1 second. LX Center. Please contact me on 135. Please do not respond via private message. Use the frequency instead. Okay, well, here we go, kids. Let's see if we survive this. Well, let's just first get rid of this chart. And get back to the cockpit. LAX Center, Whiskey Papa 812 with your flight level 80. Just 135.550. Does this aircraft require me to turn anything on? The COM1 is actually on. Let's just call him again then. Please contact me at 135. LAX Center, Whiskey Papa 812 with you, flight level 80. Oh, it says I'm tuned to 128.156. What the hell is up? So I'm on the COM 2, really? That's a surprise. LAX Center, Whiskey Papa 812, com check. Okay, this is new to me. This is the radio. Com. Can I choose? No, this is just the frequency. Let's see here. Com mic.
LA Center, Southwest 1113 with you, flight level 240 for 330.
That was 1113, Los Angeles Center, squawk 72.
LAX Center, Whiskey Papa 812, radio check, audio copy. Why the hell is it? Oh, okay. We have to do it there. Okay. So 135.550. Okay. Sorry, Mr. ATC. 135. See, that's what I mean. You know, like which one is it? If that's actually a setting, and anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. Are you kidding me? Okay, so this is newbie time for me. 135.550. So how do we swap the frequency around? It does not want to accept. Like we might have to disconnect from the WhatsApp. So we do not want to upset anyone. 135.550.
See you, Mike.
One more try. 135. Man, I'm going crazy here. 135.550. Da-di-da-di-dum. Let me now check with the V-pilot. It is our COM2. Let's see if we can use the COM2. LAX Center, Whiskey Papa 812 with you. How do you copy?
Los Angeles Center, Cap 302. Can I get a radio check, please?
Yes, step away, but you're 555.
See, it sitting there and then it deletes it. So we're just going to have to disconnect. That's a shame, because it's nice to have the radio chatter. So disconnect. Yeah, so not really sure what's going on there, but we'll find out some other time. 114.0, looks like it's still not picking up. 14.0, they are both tuned in. Should be around 280, but it doesn't help us out this moment anyway. So they just keep on flying until at some stage we'll get into the vicinity of the VOR. I still wonder, I hope anyone who ever sees this, once they've seen all the other pages on the internet, and they then stumble upon this channel, obviously I should read the manual. You know, the saying goes RTFM, right? And it's not without any reason. Marker mute, COM1, COM2, COM3 does not work. COM1 and COM2. Oh look, there's the VOR kicking in. So we're going to switch from heading to navigation. Now let's keep monitoring our position. So it's about 40 nautical miles to go, and from there we have 2 more nautical miles to go, and then we should be getting ready for the landing. I am still curious what we can do about this radio stack. Is it me or is it not really sure. Push. See if we can change it again. Sometimes you just do it 100 times and then you get a brainwave. 135. And we go again to 550, but it makes no sense. It's changing the frequency as soon as I switch. So is there a setting in VATSIM or something? I mean, this never happens in other aircraft. 135.5.0, and then let's have a look. Here they say push, squawk, power and volume. So the volume is up. And with this button, as far as I know, it doesn't matter where you click, it just switch the frequencies around. So why would it not switch these frequencies around? If I want to change the 128.150, the upper one is the active one. So it's the active one on, let's see, 128.150. 128.150. That does not make sense. So I could change this one now, but as soon as I change it back, it will probably revert again. But you know, you have something to do during the long flight. 135.550. It's sitting there for a second and then it leaves. That's weird. Anything else be causing this? We have one radio stack. You can swap frequencies. So the radio stack here, the KX165 TSD, does not seem to be linked with the Garmin. So why the hell is it there? Can I turn it off altogether? Yeah, so on what's in the pilot, it looks like I'm active on COM2. So this actually appears to be the COM2. This is now off. I should know better, but I'm going to try one more time now that the COM2 radio panel is off. 135.550. It looks buggy, man. I'm not really sure what's up with it. Let's have a look in the settings in the VATSIM. Audio. I think that's it. Network. Notifications, fonts, no. Audio, microphone, output device. It's all not it. Push to talk, sure. Model matchmaking, performance, updates, miscellaneous. No, man. Doesn't matter what you change it to, as soon as you switch it around, it will revert back. Precision not it, messages not it, CDIs following the VLOG. Let's not confuse the autopilot actually. Okay, so there's our mountain range of 5,000 something, but we're still well above it. 286 nautical miles from our last VOR. Is there anything else we could try? All trim, flight director. What the hell is pilot? COM1 mic, COM2 mic, COM3 mic. These are COM1 and 2, but it does not appear to make any difference. Just googling a little bit here. See if there's anything I can find with regards to the radio stack. equipped with the horrible default MS Garmin GN550, which handles the COM1 NAV1 capability with a digital Bendix King KX16 TSO COM2 NAV2 flip-flop radio providing secondary duty. Filling to my CFII sensibilities are the useful. Looks most useful for your enemy. So it looks like I've got some reading up to do. I'm not really sure why I was not able to contact the controller there, which is a shame because I do not want to ignore him, and it's nice to have the function. But obviously, with the live control online, I do not feel comfortable getting online again since I tried, so I have to try it out some other time. Hopefully I'm just doing something wrong. Obviously that's always the most obvious choice, but obviously on the other end you never know, you know. It looks like this is the COM2 then, and the NAV2. So it looks like you have to type everything in here, which actually is a nuisance. Whatever you type in, it just keeps on reversing it back. I'm at a loss. No clue. It's a little bit of the external view. There's some little more clouds above us. Okay, so let's have a look where we are now. We're 185 nautical miles, 18.5, 18.4, 18.3. So we have a look at the map. The sky vector. So this is 280. So we're about here. We just looks like we just flew over the biggest peak there that we could see on the map. Let's have a look. Exterior. Doesn't look like it to me, really. Looks like we are about to though. There you go. There's the turbulence picking up. Okay, so at least now we have some understanding of where we are. Let's have another look at the sky vector. So it looks like we are about here, flying over this hill. So we should get ready for the last change. And then what we do, there is no VOR where we're going, so we're going to have to use the outbound here as well, the outbound 263, and keep on monitoring for about 21 nautical miles. And then also have a little look at the area. There's definitely some mountains going on, and there's a lake. My guess it is Lake Wohlford, and yeah, so that's where we should be going. So once we reach 0 nautical mile DME, just keep on flying to a heading of 263 degrees. So we still got a little bit to go. Looks like the overlay just magically disappeared on us. So it also looks like it's coming back then. That is good. So 7 nautical miles to go. So we should be getting ready to fly the reverse, if you will. manually. Something around there. Nautical miles. So probably that is our VFR station there, like this one, that. That's our VFR. So 263, let's start applying a heading. Let's see if we can tell it to fly the reverse. We're not really sure if it's going to turn around now. No problem, it's turning around probably. So we just put the back of the needle to 263. And we'll just circle a little bit before we carry on. So what's the situation? It's still turning. So it's now trying to catch up with the track by going to the left, and then the track should be coming closer, I hope. That's what it's doing. like it. So this should also line up with our heading. So we keep on monitoring the DME now. Once it reaches 2-1, that means we are at our destination. So we look out the window. There's the lake. Is this our lake already? I cannot believe. Let's go check the chart. So that is a lake Henshaw right there that we could see. We carry on a little further. Our lake is about 1/4 of that, and a little bit to the left of our track. Okay, so we have a general idea. 4051 is a little bit behind the lake, so we could descend to flight level 60 maybe, to 6,000 feet. I think I'm just going to do that. Vertical speed, go 800 feet per minute. So yes, this was a little circle. We were flying there for a little bit. So we are now 7.6 nautical miles, so 14 or so to go. So it's time to start rolling the pre-landing cigarette. And then we'll start to get ready for our descent. Ahead, if we can see anything. The lake should be a little bit on our left. So there behind us goes Lake Henshaw. Yeah, so we are definitely getting really close here. We're 12.8. We're still descending. Let's slow down a little. The aircraft may start bleeping obnoxiously loud at us. As soon as we reach a certain speed, it will say, you know, "Hey man, Arkady, deploy your landing gear." We're 1450 nautical mile, 9 to go. On descending, that's good. See what we can do about the speed. There's a little town up ahead. Can we now establish if we are on the 6263 radial? Maybe a little more to the left. It's always making these really big S-turns, but look, there is our lake. I think actually that should be our lake. That might be our runway, but I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell. Let's look at the shape of that lake on the map. There is a lake to our left as well, but I think we are past it already. So we are 18, well, probably not. This is actually the lake to our left. Sure what the name is. Probably not it. 263. No, that's correct, that's not it. Oh wait, 21. No, that should actually. I'm sorry, let me just quickly check. Because probably just overhead now. Could be to our left here. There's a runway. That's it. That looks like it. Okay. We take a right. Let's disengage the autopilot. Flap 1 gear down. And trim it so we do not descend anymore. And now we just start trying to manage our speed, which is going to drop a little. Up a little more. Do not sink too much. I have to look outside because I could not see from the cockpit. And we're lost. There's the lake. Okay. Oh, we fly over these mountains. Or hills, rather. Yes, that's our runway. Very good. Okay, trim it. Flaps full. It's a bit of a shaky atmosphere. We double check by zooming in. Yes, it's definitely our airport. Trim it down a little bit and then try to keep it steady, because if you're too low you'll smash straight into that hill there, which is obviously not something that you would like. Power down a little bit more, trim down. We're going to fly over. It's a missed approach. But this is our airport. Let's trim it. Oh, actually, when you fly from the other end, on this is where you have the difficult approach with the hill. This approach we're doing now was actually a lot more friendly, if you ask me. Okay, so power up a little bit. Let's turn left, go by the lake. Power up some more. So there to the left. Our airfield. Throttle down. Try to keep it level. There's the airfield, okay. Would like a little bit of a longer approach if possible. So maybe just fly over those hills again. Or take a left now. Try to keep it steady in the turn. If we can keep it steady and we can keep our speed under control, it should probably be fine. There we go. Let's kill the throttle, see if we can land here. No, I do not dare. Okay, so we're going around again. So we got some good practice in here, especially in this terrain, which is not very friendly. Okay, so there's our airport again. See if we can get a little bit lower. This mountain is not helping. in the turn. A little longer before we take a little sharper turn. And throttle back while we are in the turn, probably not the smartest thing to do. Throttle back some more. Try to get the vertical profile under control. Speed should be fine. See if you can line it up now. And set it down. Engine idle. Try to aim for the runway. A little bit of crabbing. And we're down. Alright, so here we are. Flap can up. So this is where we left off yesterday. We took off yesterday for our delivery. Good news, we've landed. Happy to see, and that should basically it. Let's power off the avionics, cut the fuel to the engines. I'm just going to click continue for now. Down as you can, I like. Okay. Fuel selectors go back to the middle position. Turn off all the lights. Flight director can come off as well. The fuel pumps are already in the off position. The alternator left and right. The needles can go off. Right through the guard there. Battery go off. Okay, so the aircraft now appears to be fully powered down. Parking brake is set. Let's open up a little window and open up the door. There's this sweet spot to click, please. I want to get out of here. So there we are. I'm back in California, everybody. This was the PA44. It took us where we needed to go. We did have to spend the night at our first destination. So today was the second flight, and we fly back. And we managed to land. It was not the best landing, I think, but it was more like battle conditions, but we did it, so we're here. So that's always good. And it's almost full circle, because by the time we left yesterday, it was the sun was setting. Anyway, so that's it, everybody. Thank you for checking it out. If you found this video online, then be very proud of yourself, because you've reached the very last page of the internet, where is my channel. Okay, thank you for checking it out, and see you next time. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, signing off. Bye bye.